Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look. I tried to do a makeup tutorial. I really did. I put a picture on my Instagram to see if people wanted to see a tutorial with these palettes, the Mcgrath Ecstasy eye palettes, which are my newest palettes, or the Juvia's Place Saharan 2. And 60% said this. Funny enough, looking at that palette, I realized I could have done this exact same look with that Saharan 2. So you could do this look with a million different blue eyeshadows, but I thought I would use these because they're new. I was excited to use them more. I'd only used them once before this. And yeah, I'm very excited. Also, I did film this hair tutorial. So I filmed a hair care routine, hair tutorial, and that should be coming within the next few days. Alrighty, so let's get into the tutorial. Alrighty, so we are going to be doing a tutorial with these palettes. These are the mini Ecstasy eye palettes, and this one is the subversive one. This is the colorful one, and then this is called Sublime. This is the neutral one. And these are $28, which are the cheapest Mcgrath item I've seen. Well, actually her lip glosses are also $28, but yeah, I decided I'm going to do a blue look using this blue here, and then I'll probably use a few of the neutral shades. Now, as you can tell, none of these are mattes. This one pretty much looks like a matte because the shimmer goes away, but I'm going to need something else for the crease. But I usually combine palettes anyway, and I thought this would be a really nice way to try Mcgrath eyeshadows at a much cheaper price point than her larger palettes. Okay, I already have Urban Decay eye primer on, and I set that with a cream shade, and I'm gonna just start with a very neutral brown. This one here in the BH Royal Affair, that's called Empress, but I mean, these colors are a dime a dozen for sure. I'm going to be putting a blue shade on top of that. I'm not putting too much on. I really love monochromatic eye looks, I will say. I just really like how it looks, and I think it's fun, and especially because I'm not super good at eyeshadow. Sometimes when I combine too many different colors, it just kind of looks muddy, so I've been loving monochromatic eye looks. Also with a bright inner corner, that's like my favorite thing lately. All right, my go-to palette when I need colorful matte shades is the Carity 21 Matte. I've talked about this palette a lot, and I really do like it, but I mean, there's so many bright colorful palettes on the market, you know, or you could buy single eyeshadows. I actually have quite a few Coastal Scents Hot Pots that would work for this. All right, so I'm just gonna go in with this bright blue right here. I'm using the same brush also. Eye looks are never complicated because I'm, you know, not that great at makeup. I'm just kind of trying my best, but yeah, I've just noticed if you're not a professional, you know, like me, less is more, I've noticed, as far as different colors. All right, we'll do more with that later. I know it looks a little crazy right now, but I want to add a darker blue in the outer corner, this navy blue here. This is called Phantom. Some people don't like having to combine different palettes. You know, it kind of is personal preference. I prefer using different palettes because I feel like if every palette I had every shade I needed, then, you know, I wouldn't need that many palettes, and also those palettes would be pretty large. All right, I'm going back to the bigger brush. This is, by the way, called Pro Tapered Blending. I think this is by Beauty Junkies. I bought this on Amazon a while ago, and it's probably my favorite crease and blending brush. I'm just gonna put a little bit more of the dark blue in the outer corner, and then I do want to put just a tiny bit of black in the outer corner too, so I'm gonna go with this one, black shade Disturbia. So I'm just putting that right there, just at the lower lash line. Not much, just a little bit more blending. Watched a lot of reviews of these palettes before I bought them, and most people say to use your fingers for these or a wet brush. And I have used this shade before, and I did use my usual sponge tip applicator. I'm gonna use that, and then I will just spray it. All right, I'm gonna start putting this on. Oh, that's really pretty blue. And yeah, the whole sponge tip thing with some setting spray is definitely working well. So these mini palettes, all of these, if not most of these, are in her other palettes. So if you don't already have her other palettes, then it would be reasonable. You know, if you already own a lot of Pat McGrath palettes, there would definitely be no point in buying these because you'd definitely be getting repeat shades. But for me, the only other palette I have is the Mothership 2, and none of these shades are in that one. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is just such a sparkling eyeshadow, and I feel like that's kind of what Pat McGrath is known for. It took me a while of using the Mothership palette that I have to really fall in love with the formula, because it's not like other eyeshadows. It actually takes a bit more work, but the final result is really, really nice. So yeah, I didn't even really love that palette at first, and it took me quite a bit of use to get used to it and realize that I really do love it. And the sparkle is definitely what she's known for, which is why I also wanted these palettes, because they're all metallic shimmery shades, except for that brown is essentially a matte, but the rest are all metallic, which is really what I wanted. You know, her matte shades are good too, but I feel like the sparkle is where it really stands out. All right, so the outer corner has faded just a little. I'm just gonna put a little bit more of that very dark blue here. We're still black on this brush, which is fine because I was going to do that anyway. All right, and a little bit more of the brighter blue for blending purposes. All right, so that is that. I'm gonna do a little bit of brow bone highlight with the Maybelline Lemonade Craze. This is in my Shop My Stash. All right, I just did a little bit of winged liner, cleaned up the under eye, and I realized, so the other palette I had in my poll was the Saharan 2 by Juvia's, and these blue shades are very similar. So if you voted for this palette and you have this palette, you can literally do the exact same look with a few matte blue shades. Here they are swatched, so that's the Juvia's one. So it is a bit lighter. This is the Pat McGrath one. But honestly, this is one of those things where on the eyes, they probably wouldn't even look that different. Okay, face primer, I'm gonna use the Farsali Skin Tune. I really, really like this primer. It's a favorite. The pump on this though, does not work all that great. It's actually a dropper, it's not a pump, but it's not the best. And I have been putting my primer on with my beauty sponge. I don't know why, but I just started doing it and I kind of like it actually. Okay, onto foundation. I want to use the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Finish Foundation. My color is Light Ivory 140 and I feel like this matches me very, very well. This e.l.f. foundation is absolutely amazing. Pat McGrath though, I have been curious about that foundation. It's crazy expensive though. It's $68, which even if I were to get that on sale, let's say it's 20% off, I mean, that's still a lot. I think, you know, usually the $40 to $50 range is pretty common for high-end and even luxury brands, but I don't know, $68, that just seems very crazy, but obviously, you know, it's a very luxury brand and a lot of the prices are very, very high. But it's kind of interesting because they do vary a lot. I mean, her lip glosses and lip liners are $28 each, and that's a pretty common price point for high-end. But then you've got eyeshadow palettes, you know, that are $125, and her lipsticks are, I think, $38 or $40, which is a bit high. I mean, $30 to $35 is pretty common for high-end or even luxury, but it's an expensive brand. Going with the Milani concealer, this is the Conceal and Perfect. What color do I have? 115 Light Nude. I definitely am neglecting this concealer, and it's actually in a project pan, but I've been focused on 2 other concealers that are in projects. I do really like that concealer though. With the Wet n Wild powder, this is the Reserve Your Cabana. I really like this powder. It's just a really nice satin kind of finish. It's definitely has even a bit of a sheen to it, so I wouldn't recommend it for oily skin for setting your whole face, but I'm still pretty dry this time of year. Under eye powder, the usual here, Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. Always reblend the concealer right before setting. All right, I'm going to contour with the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil in Mineral Veil. This is, what am I saying? This is the Faux Tan bronzer. I really like this. This is the only thing I got in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, but I'm really enjoying it. All right, for bronzing, I'm gonna go with my favorite, the Marc Jacobs, and I still love this bronzer. Definitely a favorite. Random, so this morning I decided to pick back up my hobby of jewelry making. This looks kind of terrible, I know, but I made this pendant and I put it on this, so I'm trying to occupy my time with various hobbies, but this looks okay. I made like 8 different things and this one turned out the best. So, all right, since it's a pretty bold eye look, I'm gonna go with a more neutral blush. This is the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop in I Need Space. This is kind of in that family of like Tarte Exposed nude with a bit of mauve type blush. That's a whole lot of blush, but I will tone it down. For highlighter, I'm gonna go with Ofra Beverly Hills. This is also in my Shop My Stash. And I think I'm going to combine these 3 here. I like that about this highlighter, that it has the different colors in it because I can reach for different ones, you know, based on how I'm feeling that day. So you can see there's a bit of pink in it from this one, and I really like that. All right, this is what happens whenever I use over highlighters. It's insane. I really need to tone that down. I'm going with my Ghost palette. I'm combining diffused light and dim light. And those are permanent shades. And I like to do this to tone down crazy highlight, which this definitely is. Oh gosh. I don't do makeup tutorials. Okay, so that definitely helped. Yeah, that is a whole lot of highlights. So yeah, the over highlighters, they are very intense. Not for the faint of heart. And I want to clean up this contour area a little bit. I'm gonna go with that same Wet n Wild powder. All right, onto the lower lash line. I always just like to do a dark brown, so I'm gonna start with this dark one. This is from the Pat McGrath Mothership 2. I mean, any dark brown will do. There's a black in this palette, so since it's here, I'm just gonna put a little bit of that. Okay, just to tie in all the blue together, I'm going to use this darkest blue on the lower lash line. Kind of can't even see that it's blue because of the other colors. I just really like a very dark brownish black lower lash line regardless of the look I'm doing. That's just what I like. But all right, now I added some black eyeliner in the waterline and I really want to do an intense inner corner. That is my favorite thing ever lately. I'm gonna go with this lightest shade. This is the Sublime palette. I mean, it's just a champagne type color. So you could do this with a million different palettes. I'm going to use an actual brush this time. In my palette bingo, I used my finger for the inner corner and it was kind of a disaster. And this does look like it needs to be wet also. Okay, I really like that. I am loving this intense inner corner lately. It has just been my favorite makeup thing. I will say this brush is pretty good. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill, the JH42, because it's so small. I don't really have, part of the reason I'm so lazy about the inner corners, I don't really have any brushes I love for it, but now that I'm using this one, I actually really like it. So I'm really trying to make this very intense. All right, that's gonna be pretty good. And something that I've been doing is using this Wet n Wild powder to kind of brighten up the under eye, and I really like it for that too. I'm really into this powder. Just kind of clean up any messiness from the lower lash line or the inner corner. Mascara. I will say there's a lot of glitter fallout from that inner corner shade on my under eyes. I don't love that. I probably should have wet the brush even more. Filling in my brows now with this dark shade from the Milani Soft and Sultry. I always use eyeshadow for my brows. It's just the easiest thing ever. Essence Make Me Brow. This is my favorite brow gel. There's just certain products I never try new, and that would be brow gel, because so many of them make my brows really crunchy and I don't like that, and this, I love it. It's only $3. All right, I finished mascara and brows, and for lip, I'm gonna use my new Pat McGrath products, the Contour Lip Liner, very hyped up. It's just a brown nude. It's actually pretty similar to BFF. I'll show you a swatch with the Pat McGrath Kylie Iced Latte underneath. You can tell that's a bit more dark and brown, and then ColourPop BFF underneath that, and that is just a hair lighter than this, so they're not that different. Oh, and then I got this lip gloss. This is Bronze Divinity. This is what I was most excited about trying, and it is so smooth and nice. I do really like it. So what I've noticed about these lip liners is I usually put some lip balm on my lips before I put on any lip products. Always, always, just to moisturize them. I had just a bit of like a chapstick on, and I tried to put this on and it wouldn't even go on. So that's a little frustrating, but I think it's meant to be worn just on totally bare lips. So I'm hoping the lip gloss keeps my lips moisturized. I'm just putting this everywhere. This is a really pretty brownish color. I really like it, but just this, it feels kind of tacky and dry all at the same time. I really need something on top. All right, let's go with the lip gloss. This color is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. And sparkle, I feel like that's what she's known for. And a lot of her lip glosses are really sparkly, but it's very smooth. You can't feel the shimmers on your lips, which I really hate that feeling. Oh my gosh, so pretty, so much shine. Sparkly, but not glittery. I really, really like it. And a little sticky, but not too bad. Really like that. Alrighty, that is it for this actual makeup tutorial, kind of. I tried. E for effort, I guess, but I really like the look. You could do this eye look with that Saharan 2 palette and just a few matte blues. You could do this with so many different palettes, but I really like the way it turned out. You know, a glossy brown lip. This is not revolutionary, but I like it, and this is how I've been really enjoying to do my makeup lately, monochromatic looks with a very bright inner corner. That's just what I'm really enjoying. I love a glossy lip. And yeah, I really like this. So yeah, let us know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, let me know. Maybe I'll do more tutorials. That is it, and have a great day.